So, why does the operation of the Waitakere and Portage Licensing Trusts have any relevance to me or to the role of mayor? Why should I care? It's only one little segment of the city and there are plenty of other issues to be dealt with. The answer actually is very simple. It's because it is in the Auckland region. It's a monopoly and it goes against what I believe to be morally correct. So let's start with having a few facts sorted first. The Waitakere and Portage Licensing Trusts own and operate all the taverns, pubs and bottle shops in their region. There are a handful of exceptions, but that is because they were in existence before the trusts were, or they are manufacturing on site. The trusts also do not have any control or say over restaurants, cafes, nightclubs, just bottle stores and the taverns. Now what this means is that you are not allowed to start your own business doing either of those two things in those regions. They have it locked down and they get away with this by claiming to be a community-minded operation. It's ironic, isn't it? They use two of society's troublesome vices, booze and gambling, to make their profits supposedly as a benefit to society. And gosh, for some reason that just doesn't sit with me. Now legally 40% of the gambling income has to be given back to the community. That's when their PR machine spins into action. There is more though, and it's a real doozy. You see, even though they are a trust and have legal obligations to present all their finances to the public, these two particular trusts hide it all behind a separate company that runs those two main trust operations, which according to their own website, they are apparently owned by the West Auckland community. So why hide it? They refuse to tell the public real details or how much people are paid, including the CEOs. But wait, there is another kicker, which is what really grates with me. The president of the Portage Licensing Trust also happens to be the chairman of the Trust's Community Foundation. And they run all the pokies. Sorry, I forgot. He's also an Auckland councillor and the chairman of the Finance and Performance Committee. It's a lovely place for him to be in this world, isn't it? I should put in a disclaimer here though. I don't actually drink alcohol, so there is no agenda for me to have cheaper booze or more places to sit and drink, even though I am aware that the handful of trust-owned taverns in West Auckland are complete dives and in need of desperate competition. So now, there are two things here that I hate. I hate the monopoly and I hate the conflict of interest. Let's start with the monopoly. The trust was set up in '72, way back, to control booze. It's no longer needed. The rules are in place that do that for us now. You can't set up bottle stores on a street corner in a dairy or put in as many as you can find space for in a row of shops. The legislation stops that. So the controlling trusts are actually no longer required. Again, the trusts stop businesses in those industries from being owned and operated by anyone but them. And is that right? No, it's not. So that is the horrid monopoly. Can't do it in any other trade. Now the conflict of interest when councillors are part of this fiasco. You see, it's wrong on so many levels to have a dual role like this. One hand, you have councillors elected into position to represent, help look after the community, help it grow and thrive. This hand, you have the same councillors making a quiet fortune on the side, running booze and gambling outlets. Is it 1930s Al Capone going on here? Oh, but I ensure you, I recuse myself from certain points of the operation, is what Councillor Clow states. Well, bloody grand for you, mate. But your fake moral stance doesn't work on me. Plenty of us in the real world despise this kind of thing. It churns deep in our souls, but all we can do is shrug our shoulders about it. This is because it's not illegal. It's not even corrupt. It just smells wrong. And there is no need for it. What it does do, however, is it shows the real soul of a person, their true moral standing. And that's important, right? The trusts have the ultimate PR machine. It gives the residents of the area free smoke alarms and dodgy first aid kits. It also donates money to a multitude of groups, sports teams and schools, etc. Yes. But I guess you're not surprised that from the millions they make, it doesn't all go out. Yeah, that's the community spirit. And you know, if the people running it were genuinely all about the community, they'd be doing it and having just their expenses covered, maybe with a small token payment for their time. But we all know that's not going to happen, is it? Here's something interesting. On the books, the freebies they give out, the torches, the smoke alarms, the first aid kits, whatever they are not listed in the community charity section, but they are under the marketing part of the books. What does that tell you? It tells me that their bribes and spin work exceptionally well. What the licensing trusts can do is ditch their monopoly, ditch their purpose of being all about booze and gambling, become a proper community charity using other avenues of business like the majority of trusts around the country have already done. They can still raise money for the people. They will no longer be slowing progress and stopping others from trying to create business. And there will be no more yucky vibes and feels about the whole thing revolving around those vices. They could also remove the conflict of interest by ensuring that no council members are part of it. Basically, for Clow and a handful of others, that means they have to make a choice, don't they, about where they want to be. Trustee, working in the pokies, being a counsellor. So how can we solve this if they are not going to do it themselves? Well, actually, I've just found a way. It can be voted on to stay or go during the local body elections this year. However, it needs a certain amount of public interest to be shown for this to happen, and only from those in those trust regions. I recently heard about the West Auckland Trusts Action Group. I'll put the link up for you. This group has a petition running online or on paper or mail, and it needs a certain amount of signatures by the 14th of June. If that happens, then a vote is actually added to this year's local body elections, where the people get to decide if they want the monopoly or not. Remembering, though, that the trustees who are voted on at the same time, expect those and the trust to be lobbying very hard against the monopoly removal. And if you're in the zones, I actually recommend you check their website and sign the petition online. Help me fight it. By the way, the trusts didn't build and nor do they own the Waitakere Stadium, but don't let their PR and marketing get in the way of your assumptions. I guarantee you one thing though, when I'm mayor, if the trust still exists and any of the voted on councillors are a trustee or have any dealings with it, I'll ensure they fully understand my position, not just with the trust itself, but with my trust in them. And I'll ensure that you hear about those people as well.